Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. We're talking along. It's a discussion on a heavy lift drone. I want to make a heavy lift drone that is hydraulic. When I started, these hydraulic motors could create the kind of horsepower that was needed. I need 233 horsepower for each propeller of the drone, and there wasn't an electric motor. They're doing better with electric motors. And this I'm just showing. This is the Allison 250 turboshaft helicopter jet engine. There's a place on this engine where a output shaft comes out, and that output shaft is turning this gear. And this gear is turning these three pumps. And the reason for the three pumps is to get enough flow. And this, I tried to put on there a texture. Yeah, the Parker Hannifin F1280 pump. This is a pump. They look exactly like the motor, but the valves are different. And the way this was going to work, I made a manifold. So in the real system, the flow from all of these pumps would come down here in a tubing system closer to this size. And it's red. I made red as the output. So this goes to each of the 6 different propellers. And then the flow from the propellers comes back through the return channel, and the return channel sends it back to the pump. And so that you could see better inside of it, there was a propeller. I cut the parts in half so that you could see in there. And this is a channel in this stem, so that there's no difference in pressure between here and here. So this doesn't want to go anywhere. It doesn't tend to drift. And we're going to talk about this in more detail, but this is the valve. And the best way to understand a drone is to imagine that you have a pool cue stick in your hand. You're holding the bottom of it with one hand. You pick a basketball up with your other hand and put it on top of the cue stick, and then you let go of the basketball with your hand, and the other hand that's holding the cue stick, it has to move around and keep the basketball balanced on the cue stick where the basketball doesn't fall off. That is sort of what a drone is doing. A drone is balancing itself on the vertical thrust from the propellers. And this is this big fat cord propeller. I call them fat cord propellers because this cord is very large compared to this length of the propeller. And that is because they're optimized for thrust, static thrust at 0 airspeed. And this down here is a little linear actuator that I made. But I'm going to take this whole structure apart and go over it in more detail. And I just wanted to mention again, this is the drone that we're talking about now. This is a hanger the hanger that I made for it. You'll notice the hanger doesn't have a door here. And that is because the door is something that could be damaged so that all the drones are stuck in here or none of them can get in here. So it has this curve to it, and you store them. There's another one right here. You store them back here, so if a bomb goes off here, it's not going to do anything to them. And this is where the people work. They're on the Heskey sand-filled bags. There would be sandbags on top of here. This is the drone that I'm talking about. It's I wanted it to be able to carry 600 pounds of fuel and carry 1,000 pounds of payload and have a person inside of it. And it weighs about 5,500 pounds on takeoff. It has 2 of these CTS 800 engines, 1,000 horsepower each. So that's why you need 933 pounds of thrust. And so you need a 230 horsepower motor to give this the VTOL. And so this is the drone we're talking about. It's a military drone. And I wanted to mention again this idea that the drone is balancing. Whenever you have a drone going up in the air in a stable hover, It's always attempting to get itself off balance, and you have to keep changing the thrust output of the motors to keep the drone stabilized. What they discovered was that's possible with electric motors, and that came or created what I call the law of electric motors. And this is something that's been pushed out there because electric motors work. You have to use electric motors in drones. It's a feature of the universe. There's laws of physics require it. The genius that can make it work hasn't shown up. A lot of people would have to collaborate together to get something other than electric. There's some very special, very, very sophisticated part, and nobody knows how to make it. The hydraulic motor solution requires this very special valve. Nobody has any idea how to make this valve. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because I think all of this is not true. They took this sentence, electric motors can make a drone stable, and turned it into only electric motors can make a drone stable. And what makes a drone stable is that you can modulate the thrust. As long as you can modulate the thrust, the drone will be stable. And the question is whether you can modulate the thrust with a hydraulic system. What that means is you're going to have a valve that can modulate the thrust of the propellers and modulate them in the manner that's required in order for the drone to be stable. And of course, I always like to see what is being given to us. This is the Bing desktop. Icicles someplace in Japan. And this, I think, is the reception I get when I talk about a hydraulic drone from the people who make drones. This is me putting out lights to shine on the topic of drones to show that it's not electric motors, it's modulation. Anyway, so that's what's been given to us from Bing. And of course, I always like to remind everyone I do have a website, and you can go to discussions not about a piston robot, heavy lift drone. And I like to let everyone, this is starting to get dangerous, particularly with electric power and these propellers. But anything that's physically real might hurt somebody. If you're managing something that's physically real, my advice is manage it in a manner that is legally allowed and reasonable and safe. And if you can't manage it in that manner, my advice is do not create it as a physically real item. And I did want you to see, this is a place where I send my renders of just variety of things. Slog on, the robot walking in the grass. But here is this, and here is the prop valve, and here is a 69,000 or 69 megabyte image of it. And the nice thing about this is 9,400 pixels, but you can expand it and look around and see how everything works. And I like the large size images. To me, now my problem is I created it. So it's sort of like looking at pictures of your own children. Of course it's going to look good. I don't know. But to me, it's kind of just almost fun to look at, just to look at it. But I'm going to go over all of this and show it to you. And I wanted to show you something about my website. And here is the website. And so we can go to, well, you'll notice, you might see it this way maybe on your desktop, and you might see it this way on your cell phone. But there's the menu, not about a piston robot. And this is some things that were just on my mind. And here's the heavy lift drone. And this is this little PDF that explains everything. But I took this image, and you can click on it, and it will download the 72 megabyte PNG image of the valve. And this is an FBX export from SketchUp of this valve. So if you want to take this valve and open it on your own desktop in your 3D drawing program, you can, but you have to extract it first. I opened it in Autodesk Fusion and it opened, so I think it will work. I just wanted you to see that. And the way this valve works, I'll show it to you in this really, I think, nice looking image. Okay, here is the jet engine. The output shaft turns these pumps. One part of the pump puts out high pressure fluid. The high pressure fluid goes into this manifold. I don't have all 6 propellers here, but I have one. In the real drone, it'll be powering all 6. And through this one, the fluid under pressure flows into the motor of this propeller, this bent axis Parker-Hannifin motor. I don't remember the size of it, but it can make 233 horsepower for the big drone. And then it comes out of the motor and comes back down through the return loop. It goes down through here, and the return sends it back to the pumps. And this is the modulation flow control valve. And what happens is this brass part can move up and down. And as it moves up and down, this begins to occlude the flow, so that the flow that's trying to come in here, it can't get across into the flow channel to go to the motor. And in addition, not only are you blocking the ability of the fluid to go to the motor, you're also blocking the ability of the fluid to come back. And I put in here, this is a water pressure tight seal, but this is a channel that connects this side of this blocking device to that side of it, so there's no net pressure on this device to try to make this go one way or the other way. That's not how it works. The way it works is this smooth flat portion of it obstructs the flow. And the flow doesn't have to be stopped. This is not a bubble tight valve. And the way this works is this servo motor turns these gears to lower its speed and increase its torque. It turns a ball nut in here, and we'll go look at this in a quite slightly different way. Now we're back in Keyshot. So this servo motor here turns these gears. These gears eventually turn this structure, which has got a ball nut inside of it, and the ball nut turns and makes this ball shaft move this way or that way. And this ball shaft does not turn because it's caught by this structure here, and it runs back and forth on this angle iron rail. And you might say, wow, that's complicated. But I'm going to explain to you how and why it's made and what the purpose of it is. The important thing to remember is this is a servo motor that can be digitally controlled by the central processing unit of the computer. And this is a highly accurate precision potentiometer. So as this ball shaft moves back and forth, this gives an indication to the central processing unit of where is the stem of this valve. And it's important to remember that what it's paying attention to is the drone. This knowledge of the stem is important, but it's not critical. What matters is the drone. And she is saying what matters is the clock. I think I'm out of time. So, and this is some bypass stuff. I'll get into all of that. This can't be done in 15 minutes. And I'm going to take, this is in Keyshot, I'm going to take this valve apart and show it to you in more detail. And I am going to make a list of all the papers that the grad student can write, so she'll get her PhD in aeronautics. And I'm going to spend some time standing in front of the mirror working on my winning smile so that she doesn't get angry with me. But I'm going to go all through all of this. This is all part of our next video.